My name's Alex Dunlap. I'm the general manager for AWS Elemental. Let me get the clicker here. This is a session on how AWS is enabling advanced media workflows. What we're going to do, we're going to look at the 5 AWS Elemental Media Services that we launched this week. I'm going to try to, leave you with a couple of things. One is an understanding of why we built them, sort of the problems we were trying to solve with them. Second is Quadra is going to do some demos, so you'll get some hand-on experience seeing what they're capable with. So we're going to kind of bounce back and forth. I'll do a little talk, a little presentation, and then Quadra will do a demo to kind of illustrate the points. So let's talk video. When you say video, you tend to think of AWS media and entertainment customers. There are a lot of customers doing video and M&E video on AWS. This is folks like Discovery. This is folks like BBC. We did a really cool project with NASA in April where we did a 4K stream from space. So we sent an Elemental encoder appliance up into the International Space Station, beamed an interview down in 4K. It was the first time anyone had ever done live 4K video from space, and then did a Q&A with a conference we were holding here in Las Vegas. Video's not just for M&E, though. One of the things we're excited about with these services is the ability to bring broadcast-grade video technology into the hands of corporate communications or marketing events or gaming or surveillance. If you watched the reInvent live stream today, you were watching a stream that was encoded by an Elemental piece of software, packaged by an Elemental packager, and then distributed using Amazon CloudFront. If you don't know Elemental, Elemental was a pioneer in streaming video. So AWS acquired Elemental about 2 years ago, and Elemental has thousands of media and entertainment customers, other video customers. Our mission is really to help perfect our customers' media experiences. So let me go a little bit into the AWS Elemental Media Services that we launched. Tell a little bit of kind of my experience working with customers doing video. When you talk to a lot of media and entertainment customers, you ask them what their business is all about. They usually say things like, we're a sports broadcaster, or we do compelling dramas, or we're doing corporate communications. They tend to describe their content. They tend to describe the value that their viewers get out of their content. If you then ask them what do they do in an average week or an average month or an average day, the answer gets very different. They tend to describe their infrastructure. They tend to describe problems they have dealing with formats. They tell us about scaling problems. And so this seems like a very clear example of what in AWS we call undifferentiated heavy lifting. So our customers are spending their time not on what makes their business special, but instead spending time on the things that are just necessary in order to keep the machinery of video running. So we launched AWS Elemental Media Services to really change that equation. And I tend to kind of organize my thinking around 3 areas of benefit that customers can get by using our solutions to power their media workflows. The first is reliability. Delivering video at high scale with a high level of reliability, it's hard. And customers will spend a large amount of their effort ensuring that video is successfully delivered to their audience. We'll look today at a bunch of examples in the sports area, sort of sports broadcasters. I picked that for a couple of reasons. One, I think sports is something that people can identify with. But it's also one that is very reliability prone. If you're not delivering, if you miss a play, if you miss a goal, if you miss a basket, if you miss a touchdown, your audience is going to be upset. So sports is a very demanding use case from a reliability perspective. So we'll use that as an example as we go through here. The second is agility. This space, video technology, is changing at a tremendously fast clip. When I was growing up, if I wanted to watch TV, I would turn on a program at 8 o'clock. I would watch it for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and I would be over. I would turn it off. Maybe I would run get popcorn in the middle of the commercial breaks. Viewers today expect that they're going to be able to watch any program on any device whenever they want. They expect it's going to look great. They expect they're going to have a really compelling user experience. These are the table stakes. And keeping up with that rate of change is hard. We built our AWS Elemental Media Services to give customers the agility to adopt new technology without buying new infrastructure, without having to go deep into new standards, so that they can focus on their content, kind of teeing up the third one, but the agility to adopt new technology and really keep pace with it at a tremendously fast rate of change. Third is focus. Customers want to focus on their content. They want to focus on their user experience. They don't want to focus on their infrastructure. So we built these services to give them the opportunity to focus. There are 5 AWS media services. I'll talk about these. Let me give you a quick overview right now of the 5, and then we can go into them in more detail. AWS Elemental Media Live is a live encoding service. So you use this to process live video in the cloud. AWS Elemental Media Convert is a file-based counterpart for that. So this works on compressing and adding processing for on-demand video assets. AWS Elemental MediaPackage is a just-in-time packaging and origination service. So this prepares your videos for delivery, your live videos for delivery to various devices. AWS Elemental Media Store is a media-optimized origin, particularly for live video, works for VOD as well. It sits between your encoding layer and your CDN for a very simple, scalable origin that is performance-tuned for the unique characteristics of video. And then finally, AWS Elemental Media Tailor is a server-side ad insertion service. So it allows you to stitch together programming with advertisements so that each customer gets a unique stream that is consistently encoded and processed to a very high video quality bar. Let's go through these, and I'm going to kind of organize around those 3 benefits. And what we'll do, I want to start off each of these 3 areas. So we'll go through reliability, we'll go through agility, we'll go through focus. I'm going to give you kind of a quote, something that we heard from our customers. We'll go into 1 or 2 of the services, and then we're going to bounce over to Quadra for a demo. So on reliability, I had a conversation with a sports broadcaster, and he was describing what he saw his job was. This was over a dinner at the IBC conference a couple years ago. And what he was saying is, my job first and foremost is to make sure that we never go black. So when I'm distributing video over the internet, or over traditional means, in sports, whatever else happens, I need to put out 1 second of programming for each second of time that the game is on. And that is his job. Everything else is subordinate to that reliability. So we built AWS Elemental Media Live as a highly reliable video encoding service. It allows you to spin up a live channel at the push of a button. We'll demo this today. What we do behind the scenes is we deploy resources redundantly to multiple availability zones. So you get the benefit of redundant infrastructure without needing to manage any of the encoding servers or the other technology that is powering a highly reliable experience. It scales very easily, so you can, talking about sports, you can spin up a channel when a game starts, and you can spin it back down when it ends. It scales, you only pay for what you use. And it has that broadcast quality that viewers expect. The other one that is highly reliable, well, they're all highly reliable, but the other one that I'll cover in the reliability section here is AWS Elemental Media Store. And this is a high-performance origin for live video. How do performance and reliability go together? For most video today on the internet is fragmented video. So you're producing a manifest file and a series of video fragments. What's needed for video is consistency of performance. So I need to consistently, when I ask for a manifest, get back the latest one. I can't get back one that is old, otherwise playback is going to stop. If I'm using short fragment sizes, I'm writing a new fragment every 2 seconds. My CDNs are pulling those fragments every 2 seconds. If I have more than 2 seconds to deliver the last byte of that video fragment, playback is going to stop. So we built AWS Elemental Media Store to give very consistent performance for live video. The way we do it, we have a caching layer. When you write a video fragment or a manifest file, it initially gets written to a in-memory caching layer, which will hold your objects there for a few minutes while they're being requested. You point your encoding layer at Media Store. You point your CDN at Media Store. It serves as the origin for your CDN, like Amazon CloudFront. And it's a very simple, scalable way of giving your customers reliable performance. I'll give you an example of a customer in the sports area who are using Elemental solutions to deliver live video reliably. Amazon Prime Video, we were using Elemental services to power the Thursday night football experience. The way they've architected, they have sources that exist at the venue. There's actually some production companies that help out getting the video stream from the production truck at a venue. That gets pushed into AWS Elemental Cloud. They're using a live appliance and AWS Elemental Delta, which is the predecessor to what later became AWS Elemental MediaPackage, but the version they're using this all started before we launched. They feed that video stream into Media Tailor, AWS Elemental Media Tailor, which produces a unique manifest for every customer, uniquely combining ads with content. So the ads that I see on my devices might be different than the ads that you see on your devices. Those ads are transcoded using our server product, our file-based encoder, and delivered through distribution partners. All of this is done with multiple layers of redundancy. So they have designed the system to run in 2 different regions. So they're using, actually more than 2. They've got several different regions. For the US, it's 2, which is where most football is watched, but not entirely. We are, on their behalf, running in 2 different availability zones to give them that reliable experience. The result is they've been able to give their customers a highly available live stream. They've not gone black. So with that, I'm going to ask Khwaja to come up and do a little demo of Media Live.
All right. Thanks, Alex. Hopefully my computer still works. My name is Khwaja. I run the engineering team at Elemental. And I'm just going to give you a really quick one. We're going to do 3 demos. This one is going to be the quickest one. What you're going to see here, let me go ahead and log into my demo account here real quick using IAM. All right, so what you see here is about 109 channels that are up and running on my AWS account. Now, if you're a broadcaster and you've just signed a deal for 100 new channels or 300 new channels or 1,000 new channels, the ability to go ahead and get all of them running inside your account instantly is pretty rewarding. Similarly, any developer with an AWS account can create the same set of accounts, same set of workflows very, very quickly. So let me see if I can show you. In this particular scenario, what's happening is we've got a variety of channels up and running. One of these channels is pushing the data to Media Store. Now, Media Store, as Alex mentioned, is our fast streaming, it's a really fast cache-based system that allows you to stream data really reliably as one of its use cases. And what we're doing here is the 2 encoders that Alex talked about. One of them is sending the data to one Media Store endpoint, and the other one is sending the data to another Media Store endpoint. And I've got the link on my phone, which I will show. And hopefully, this channel is still up and running. My phone is still loading. If you come offline, I can validate this workflow end to end, but all right, on conference Wi-Fi, I do have something up and running. And it's basically going from Elemental Media Live, 2 encoders, going into Elemental Media Store, going into my phone.
Right. So that's just a start to see how you can, in just a few clicks, create a highly reliable live channel running in AWS Elemental Media Services. The second one I wanted to talk about today is agility. And I was talking to a content owner in New York earlier this year, and this is paraphrasing a little bit, but they were saying that their job was really to make their content look great anywhere and everywhere. So this was a VOD use case, and they see an explosion of formats and features and resolutions and devices, and they were spending what they thought was too much time just trying to get their content to look great instead of spending time on the content itself. We built AWS Elemental Media Convert to help do that. So at its core, it's a compression service, a file-based compression service that allows you to prepare videos for deliveries to TVs or connected devices. It allows customers to build video-on-demand workflows in minutes, not months. And it has all of the broadcast-grade features that customers expect. Everything from watermarking to ad insertion to a broad range of format supports, and we'll see some of that today in the demo. We've also built it as a, like all of these services, a pay-as-you-go service. You pay just by the minute of content that you process through the service. On the live side, you looked at earlier at the encoding side, so preparing the actual video stream. There's a second step to delivering live video, which is packaging. Packaging allows you to take that encoded video stream and deliver it to many different types of devices. A very common example would be maybe to prepare a HLS package video that would be delivered to, say, an iOS device, and a Dash package video that might be delivered to a browser. A lot of our customers want to protect their video streams. They want to make sure that the people who pay for their videos can watch them reliably, and people who don't can't. So AWS Elemental MediaPackage also provides integration points with a large number of digital rights management systems that you can use to protect your valuable content. And then the last thing we've added is some DVR-like functionality to the packaging of live video. So AWS Elemental MediaPackage allows you to do a 72-hour rolling catch-up window. So if you have a 24/7 TV channel, you can have give your customers the ability to go backwards in time up to 72 hours and watch any program. They can also use MediaPackage to start to the beginning of a program again. So if you come into a game that's already started, you can go back to the beginning. We have one customer who's using a time shift capability. They've got programs they want to run at 8 p.m., and they want it to be 8 p.m. whether it's on the West Coast or on the East Coast. So they use AWS Elemental MediaPackage time shift capabilities to ensure that the stream are available at 8 p.m. where the customer is, regardless of time zone. Here's a quote from Pac-12. Pac-12 is using AWS Elemental Media Store, but I thought this quote really spoke to the agility, and that to stay ahead of technical requirements and keep our focus on our core capability of delivering a great athletic experience without having to spend millions of dollars on advanced video data centers, we are turning to the cloud. Clearly they said, I'm going to want to focus on sports, not focus on keeping up with a very rapidly moving technology environment. So with that, let's have Quadra come back up and take a look at Media Convert and MediaPackage.
All right, we'll do a slightly deeper demo this time, because the last one, you just had to take my word that the stuff worked the way I told you it was working. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to an account, and you'll notice that on the Media Live console, I've got no channels. Go to the Media Package console. There's no channels. All right, so we're going to build a channel from scratch. All right, so I've got some Python code. Don't judge me. But all it's going to do is I'm going to type time. All right. So what the script is doing is it created two Media Live. It created a single Media Live input, which comes with two IP addresses that are yours to keep, that you can attach. It has created a Media Live channel, and it's created two Media Package endpoints where it's publishing from the two encoders, and it's connected all of them together. So let's take a look. Oh, I called it practice demo. This is the real demo. Let's do this again. Just so you know that this is all happening the way we want it to. All right. But let's go ahead and take a look at what practice demo is doing. So you've got the channel. You've got an input that's associated with that channel. That input has 2 IP addresses that are elastic IPs. They are yours to keep. And the reason why these two concepts are decoupled is so that if you have upstream workflows, you can connect those upstream workflows with these channels, and then you can bring the channels up and down depending on whether you're broadcasting or not. But, or you can change the configuration of your channels, but you don't want to touch your upstream workflows or the security firewall rules that you have set up there as well. Similarly, you've got a security group. Right now, for the purposes of this demo, I've just whitelisted it to everywhere. Don't do that. You can put your specific CIDRs there. All right, so this particular demo is up and running, and it also has 2 IP addresses for the output side. So if your downstream packager or whatever it is that you're using has firewalls on it, you can also use that to restrict access from anywhere except these 2 IP addresses. So your channel has 2 IP addresses that are associated with it, so you can reliably get the data from there. Let's see if the real demo that one is still coming up. Now we'll go to the practice demo in MediaPackage. All right, so what you'll notice is you've got an ingest URL here. You've got credentials that you can use to authenticate yourself, and we've created an HLS endpoint. Okay? You'll also notice that the HLS endpoint right now has no manifest associated with it because, well, I haven't sent any data there yet. All right. So I'll continue on with the practice demo just so everything sticks the same. We are going to start broadcasting now. All right. So this is a OBS, open source broadcasting software, that allows you to stream data. And you can stream your screen, you can stream a video that you have running, or you can stream connected to a webcam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the input for this practice channel. I'm going to copy this input URL, go to settings and the stream. All right. So it's going to go to the first input. Press OK. Let's hope the conference Wi-Fi, ends up working out. So it is streaming. Let's hope it's making it to the channel. A lot of very wise people said, don't try to do a demo on conference Wi-Fi and in real time. Unfortunately, I don't even have a backup video, so hopefully this works. All right. Okay, so now we've got an HLS endpoint. Let's talk about some of the things that Alex talked about. So you've got an HLS endpoint that works for your iOS devices. Let's say you want to have a Dash player on your Chrome browser or your Android devices. Let's just go ahead and make that happen. All right, what I'm going to do here is go to Dash. You can control the segment size. You can control the manifest window duration. And just go ahead and click Save. All right, now you have a Dash endpoint with a Dash, multi-period Dash manifest. I think you can see the raw Dash manifest coming in, changing. Let's go back to the other thing that Alex talked about, which is, you've got people in different time zones. Now, Alex, he's not quite in the East Coast, but I would say let's say he's 3 minutes apart from me. Because you guys don't want to wait for 3 hours to see this working. I think I'm exaggerating with the 3 minutes. Let's just do, wait, this is not what I want to do. We're going to do a time delay of 15 seconds Okay? I want to call it, oh, whoops, I'm editing the existing one. I don't want to do that. I want to actually create a new one. Add, we're going to call it Alex time zone. Time delay, about 15 seconds. Maintain the same segment length. And we'll go ahead and save this. All right. So, try to see if I can fit everything on a single screen. All right, so this one on the right is the delayed endpoint, Alex time zone. By the way, if anybody wants to watch it, you're welcome to just put your camera, point to it, and you can see things in Alex's time zone. Now I'm really tempting fate with the conference Wi-Fi.
Yes, you sure.
All right. It's a pretty high bit rate, too. That's the Wi-Fi routers heating up. All right. Okay, so how can I fit all three in one? Lots of screen innovation. So what I'm going to do is turn on a stopwatch. So this is the delayed one in Alex's time zone. All right. This one started buffering. Okay, so you'll see that the normal one, the glass-to-glass latency is about 11 seconds. All right, and about 27 or so seconds on this other one. So if you can't read the numbers from where you are, it's in the real time, time is 46 seconds. On the other one, it's 35, and on the third one, it was around 15. So you've got time delay capabilities built in, and just like that, you can create, start over TV, you can add encryption, all of that in a matter of minutes. Like I've only been talking for 5 minutes, and you've gotten an end-to-end broadcast-grade workflow that you can use for your kids' volleyball games and broadcast here, or you can, as a broadcaster or as a content owner, get channels up and running instantaneously. Back to you, Alex.
Cool. So the last area we'll talk about is focus, and this really is, I think, probably the most important thing. Where you saw all of the conversation that we just had there with the demo. We were talking about user experience. We were talking about time delay. We were talking about features of the video. We weren't talking about configuring servers. We weren't talking about engineering for reliability. We were talking about focusing on our content, not the undifferentiated heavy lifting of managing infrastructure. I had a broadcaster come to Seattle and had a meeting with us, and he said what his job was to run ads. That's, for an ad-supported business, really the focus that he's looking for. Everything else around it is in support of that function because that's what pays the bill. We built AWS Elemental Tailor to help customers who have ad-supported business models do that. Historically, there were two ways of doing ad insertion for connected devices. You could do client-side ad insertion. There, the phone would make calls out to get ads and programming, or the set-top box, whatever the device is. This had an advantage that you could target very specifically. So each client was making calls out to an ad server and getting a unique ad for a particular customer. So targeting was pretty powerful. But the user experience often left some things to be desired. Sometimes you'd get back an ad that was encoded to a different quality standard than the underlying program. Sometimes it would be in different resolutions or bit rates or even aspect ratios. You'd frequently get buffering as you went into out of programming or into programming coming out of ads. So the user experience that customers got with client-side ad insertion was not super great. So some customers said, forget about client-side targeting. I'm just going to stitch my ads in on the server side. And what that allows you to do is ensure that all the programming in the ads are encoded to a consistently high quality bar. But everybody sees the same ads. So with server-side ad insertion, traditionally, you gave up on a lot of the targeting capabilities that advertisers really like. We built AWS Elemental MediaTailor to remove that trade-off. What it is a server-side ad insertion product that delivers a unique manifest file for each viewer. So on the server side, we're getting your manifest, so the output of AWS Elemental MediaPackage or something like it. We're creating a unique manifest file for each customer that contains common programming and unique ads. We call out to your ad decision server, so we work with any VAST compliant ad server, and it will tell us here are the ads to use for this customer. We will transcode them to the same quality specifications as the underlying program and stitch them into a single unique manifest for each viewer. We provide a bunch of tracking mechanisms for both server-side and client-side ad reporting, so you're able to see who's watching which ads. Fubo TV is a new OTT platform for sports. They got started with soccer, but have since expanded into a large number of other sports as well. They're using AWS Elemental MediaTailor to personalize their ads. What I liked about this quote was that it talks about the ability to test new monetization strategies and even launch new services in a matter of minutes. So again, Fubo here, they're focusing on their business. They're focusing on their advertising. They're focusing on their user experience. They're not focusing on, it says, without worrying the infrastructure. So we devote our time and resources to advancing the value of our offerings. This is absolutely the sort of focus that we were talking about here. Come back to the Prime Video. They're using MediaTailor as well for ad insertion on Thursday Night Football. So maybe one last demo to show you how you can focus on user experience.
That's right.
Not on infrastructure.
Yeah. I will just add a little bit to the MediaTailor for Thursday Night Football. So today, if you go stream Thursday Night Football on Amazon Video, you'll get ads that are personalized for you using MediaTailor. Yeah. And that's, it's serving millions of viewers every game. So we're going to go ahead and do a demo that allows you to demonstrate your ability to focus and focusing on your business. So we're going to start by looking at Elemental Media Convert. And what Elemental Media Convert is, it's a brand new service that allows you to transcode file-based assets. Okay. So I'm going to start by duplicating an existing job. And you'll notice that the input is coming from S3, and it's this file called vanlife.mt2s. I have a copy of that. Just going to play it. So you'll notice a few things. So this is a file. It's about 2 minutes long. It's hard to read this, but you'll have to take my word that it's a 1280 by 720 file resolution. MT2S format. So let's do a simple transcode. Let's go ahead and create an output group. We'll call it MP4 file, and we'll call this demo reel. All right, so.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Keeping everybody awake.
It's those routers heating up. All right, so let's look at the first output. What I'm going to say is let's go ahead and reduce the resolution to 640 by 360. We'll reduce the bit rate from 5 megabits a second to about 1.2 megabits a second. And let's just say that's all we do. Okay? Click Create. Now, at this point, this job has been submitted. And almost instantaneously, it has now been allocated to a particular node behind the scenes to start downloading, processing, and uploading the file back to the output file group. And there's probably going to be nothing there right now, so let's go ahead and click there. Yep, so nothing there right now. Click Refresh. In this demo, I'll probably make a few mistakes. But the good news with Media Convert is that you can really rapidly iterate. All right, so I've got this modified file that I've given a name modifier to, and wow, that's going to take way too long to download. So let me go ahead and do a couple of other interesting things. Let's go ahead and duplicate this job, and on the input, we're just going to clip it. Let's do 30 seconds. Okay. And I'm going to go to the, oops. Oh, it finished downloading. Great. So now this is a lower resolution file, 640 by 360, as anticipated. And it's 18 megabytes instead of 70, so that's really good. It's going to be even smaller now with the 30-second clipping. But let's do a few more things while we're here. Let's go ahead and add, and after reInvent, I can really go to a beach. So I can really see myself on that beach. So I'm just going to add a watermark here. I just go into my outputs, image inserter, add an image, and browse. I have an S3 bucket with a photo that we can use to watermark. It's just a PNG. We'll use layer 0. We'll put it at the leftmost corner, and we will put it at, we want to put it at the bottom. And so let's do the 640 by 360 resolution again, and we will, the bottom would be around, let's say 300. Okay, and you can choose the start time and the duration and so forth. So that's the watermark one. Let's put a name modifier. So we'll call it watermarked. And I'm just going to click Create. And remember, this output previously, oops, this output was 18 megs. Okay, this new job is progressing. There's an error. The clipping timecode was not found. Promised I would make mistakes. You click Duplicate. Here's what happened. I chose timecode source to be embedded. There isn't an embedded timecode source, so I'm just going to tell it to assume that timecode starts at 0. Create again, and let's see. progressing. Hopefully it won't error this time when it tries to clip the input. Okay, looks like it's making progress. The first one seems to be done. It is now complete. I can click on the file group, go to S3, and you'll notice that this file is now only 4 megs. And the watermark file is 18 megs. And the reason for that is I forgot to change the bitrate. So if you look here, I left the bitrate pretty high, so change that to 1.2 megs again. But the old one is still downloading, so it's almost done, so you can still see it. All right. I have found myself on the beach. All right. Let's do a couple of more things. We'll go ahead and duplicate this job yet another time. Actually, yeah, we'll duplicate this job later another time. The input video actually had ad markers in it too. So let's insert an ad slate. Browse. We'll go to my bucket. And we'll just use a slate image. Choose. And while I'm here, I'm also going to put this in a separate queue, because you can manage all your jobs in various queues. Use that to prioritize and use that to organize. All right, so this final job has been submitted. It's progressing. Notice it didn't spend much time in the queue. It got allocated very quickly. It takes about 30 seconds or so to process. Still working. All right, it is now complete. If I click File Group again, click the old one. All right, so now the watermarking one is complete. It's 4.8 megabytes. Let's go ahead and download it from S3. All right, so now it's smaller, and the ad marker comes in about 10 seconds. All right, so now you can insert ads at that spot. And it should go away and back to main content. So now for your VOD assets, you can have that embedded. Now, the good news is that while you can really quickly use the console to iterate rapidly and figure out what your workflow looks like, once that is done, you can get the job XML, job JSON file and really just programmatically insert as many jobs as you want without having to worry about provisioning instances, their utilizations, their availability, orchestrating across those instances, monitoring them, and so forth. It all kind of happens for you behind the scenes. Okay? Let me just show you that final job that we just finished. And this is the whole description of the job that you can basically use to copy and paste to programmatically call this workflow as many times as you want on as many outputs or inputs as you want.
All right.
To Alex.
So we built these, as you see, to be really make it really easy for you to focus on your content and your user experience rather than the infrastructure. We've built them to give you a reliable experience. And because this all runs in AWS, we take on the heavy lifting of making sure we're adapting the services to new standards as they emerge, adding new capabilities, not you. This lets you be agile and nimble with your businesses. These are all available today. what I'd encourage you to do is go into the management console, try it out, give us your feedback, let us know where it's working. I'm going to stick around. We'll be up at the front here for any questions. We're also down in the AWS Village. We have a pod there. We're also showing, if you're interested, our Media Convert product. We used it to create some 360 video offerings, so you can put the goggles on and see a real good demo of what you can do with Media Convert. Thank you for coming. We'll stick around for any questions you might have. Thanks.